Jay the Geek. Got another top 10 list for you today, and we are going to talk about the best of 2024 on 4K. But before we get into that, if you like physical media, 4Ks, Blu-rays, DVDs, I talk about DVDs once in a while. Check out my other videos on my channel. Like, subscribe, turn your bell notifications on. And always feel free to comment below. Let me know what you think of anything. So let's get into my favorite 4Ks from 2024. And for my picks, as far as looking at the criteria, what I wanted to go over, I didn't want to get brand new movies because they have an unfair advantage because there's not really any restoration work. So I wanted to talk about catalog titles. I wanted to get catalog titles that are filmed in 35 millimeter and not digital. So I wanted to get that stuff and, has true restoration. So we'll go through the top 10. We'll do some honorable mentions afterwards. Because I had some honorable mentions that I've seen in other people's top 10 lists, but I just couldn't quite get it there because for me, the foremost, of course, my top, looking at the video quality. Then I look at the audio quality, because sometimes, you compare a couple different releases, it's like, well, these look both spectacular, but the audio on this one, not so much. Because I do have some that the visuals were incredible, but audio-wise, they didn't have good source material or just, not good mix the way things were done. So they just bump them down a notch. Then it boils down to as far as, basically there's going to be some bias of how much I like the movie, how much I'm going to be watching them, how much I really wanted to have them. So basically the top 10 is all subjective, for, what I liked. And bonus materials comes into play a little bit, but not as much because there's a lot of titles out there that, a lot of times I could care less. I mean, sure, I do watch some bonus here and there. It's really cool they go to the extra effort. There's a lot of time and effort put into making bonus materials, put new stuff out there. But, for me, it's just icing on the cake. As long as if it's visually good, if the audio's good, I'm not going to knock it because it has less bonus materials. Because once I watch everything, when I go back to watch things over and over, am I going to watch the bonus features again? 99% of the time, the bonus features are one and done. I just want to pull the movie off the shelf. This is what I want to experience. So that in mind, let's jump into my top 10. And coming in at number 10, we've got A Nightmare on Elm Street. Now, of course, this is the Steelbook edition from UK. I love this. Definitely the packaging, plays a little bit of a role in this. But outside that, it's an amazing transfer. This is from Warner Brothers. This does not have Dolby Vision. I think this is the only one in my top 10 list that does not have Dolby Vision. And that's not saying Dolby Vision is, it needs it. Because there are some great 4Ks out there that does not have Dolby Vision that are freaking stunning. And this is one of those. This is an incredible transfer here. I mean, great rich details, has some great depth, textures, has those shadows and a lot of the nighttime scenes. The solid blacks, the whites really pop, the colors. So visually stunning transfer here. And the audio, it has Dolby Atmos and a DTS HD 2.0. A very well done audio track here. A lot of times older tracks, sometimes they have a bad mix and it doesn't sound natural. A lot of times, if you follow me, have seen any of my reviews, I have issues with some dialogue. A lot of times because within a 5.1, the dialogue should be front and center. The only time you should hear dialogue off to the sides is if you don't see it. If you hear someone talking off to your left, yeah, you should hear it. But if you see them talking right in front of you, I should not hear dialogue bleeding off to the left and right. So a lot of my reviews, I'll really nitpick over that. But this one is very well done. There is no bleeding to the left and right or even the surrounds. There have been 4Ks out there where I've actually heard dialogue in the surrounds and it should be in front of me. So yeah, the dialogue here, very well done. Has a nice, well balanced, like I said. The surround mix overall sounds a little dated, but overall has a really nice, well ambience to it. So number 10, Nightmare on Elm Street. Coming at number 9, we've got a Kino Lorber release, Kindergarten Cop. Now, I did a review of this. You want full details on it. It's another one that's got Dolby Vision, rich details, the depth, the colors, textures, and all that. Audio, it's got a 5.1 track, very solid, clear dialogue. Everything's natural sounding. Bonus feature-wise, not a whole lot, just a couple audio commentaries and a theatrical trailer. But overall, very solid release here from Kino. Incredible. Coming at number 8, we've got The Chronicles of Riddick. This came out from Arrow, got Dolby Vision. Another one is freaking phenomenal. Arrow really hits their titles. They just hit them out of the park every time. Of course, I have a love-hate relationship with Arrow at the moment because they put out a great product, but their customer service sucks ass. At the moment, I'm boycotting them. I'm not spending any money on any Arrow titles because they're pissing me off, because they're ignoring me. They're not wanting to fix an issue I had with them. But that being said, incredible. Visually, this is a reference quality. Audio-wise, another reference quality track here. Now, for audio, this is where you got the theatrical release has Dolby Atmos. The director's cut has DTS HD 5.1. So that's the only downside. It doesn't have the Atmos for the director's cut, but other than that, stunning, incredible release here from Arrow. Chronicles of Riddick, number 8. Coming at number 7, we've got a beast of a release here. Second Sight's The Hitcher. Incredible. I did a review of this you could check out, and also an unboxing. Incredible. I really didn't find any flaws with this. Incredible, phenomenal transfer. The audio has a Dolby Atmos track and a DTS HD 2.0. The only flaw I would probably find is there was a couple scenes where the music drowned out the dialogue just a little bit. But other than that, that was the only fault I would have with this. This is an incredible addition. Loads of bonus features, a lot of new stuff as well. So The Hitcher comes in at number 7. Coming at number 6, we've got an addition from Imprint. This is the first time I've ever got anything from Imprint. Convoy. Love this great classic release. I did a review of this. It has Dolby Vision, incredible details. A lot of the dirt and grime on the trucks, the license plates, you can just pops off the screen. The colors, those 70s clothing, details on the close-ups, they'll see the sweat on the face, the facial hair, the beards. So a phenomenal release here from Imprint, Convoy, number 6. Now coming at number 5, we've got Conan the Barbarian from Arrow. Now, the reason a lot of people would probably talk about the set, since they came out at the same time, and looking at the notes, and I was like, I can't do that because the Destroyer did not get the same love as Barbarian. The Destroyer definitely had a lot of flaws to it. Wasn't perfect visually, the audio wasn't the greatest, but Barbarian here, phenomenal job. I really couldn't find any flaws with this whatsoever. The details, textures, the colors, flesh tones, shadows in the forest, sweats, muscle definition of Arnold, freaking phenomenal. And the audio, they got the Dolby Atmos, DTS HD 2.0, and a mono. Great balance overall. The Atmos track definitely adds a lot of bass to the overall and gives you a little bit more of a punch than the other tracks. Really fills the room. So number 5, Conan the Barbarian. Coming at number 4, we've got another Arrow release. Again, because of my love-hate relationship with Arrow, I hate saying the good things, but I have to give the devil its due. We got Friday the 13th, the 2009 reboot. Phenomenal job here. Dolby Vision, solid presentation, very rich. I mean, the contrast, everything's so vibrant, the depth and the details, pops of colors, shadows. And for the audio, they gave us a DTS HD 5.1. Everything's got a great balance here, clear dialogue, great ambience. So phenomenal Arrow release here. Coming in at number 4, Friday the 13th from 2009. Now coming at number 3, an all-time favorite celebrating its 40th anniversary, The Terminator. I freaking love this. It lived up to expectations. And of course, with all the Cameron stuff going on this past year, this was really in question how this would look. And this did not have those Cameron flaws that we had earlier this year. This is freaking phenomenal. Warner Brothers really hit it out of the park with this one, in my opinion. It does have that clean, polished look, but at the same time, it still retains that film grain. It has that film look to it. It has a lot of depth, pops of color, the dirt and grime on a dump truck at the beginning, all the close-up shots, you see the sweat, the details, facial stubble. And of course, the audio track, they gave us a Dolby Atmos along with DTS HD 2.0. Great, well balanced. This is one of those I was afraid it would not be good, but it does have a great balance, great use of surrounds, nice bass. Some people would probably prefer the 2.0 track, nostalgic reasons. But overall, I mean, the 2.0 sounded a little flat. It was clear. Sounded really good, but just sounded flat. Where the Dolby Atmos track really was more robust, really filled the room. So number 3, The Terminator. For number 2, we've got a Vinegar Syndrome release, Congo. This is a VSU edition I bought. Incredible. Actually did an unboxing, actually did a review of this. So again, these are just little mini reviews. Incredible. Visually, this thing is freaking stunning. Some great textures, safari scene, rich colors of vistas, especially when they get to the jungle scenes. It is freaking awesome. Audio, another reference quality track here. Great balance, great surround ambience, nice little bass during the explosions. So yeah, this is definitely a reference disc here. And it almost made my number 1. I just could not deny my number 1 choice. But so Congo comes in at number 2. So coming in at number 1 is a great classic that never got a Blu-ray release. This was on everyone's wish list that this needed an upgrade. And we're talking about James Cameron's The Abyss. That's probably a big reason why I put this at number 1, because this was a bucket list item and it delivered. Of the 3 releases that came out at the beginning of the year from Cameron, there was a lot of controversy over those 3. I think it's pretty safe to say that this was the best of those 3 that came out. And it is. I mean, this is visually stunning. The great details, hairs, facial stubble, the color saturation, the colors inside the ship, those vibrant, the colors just freaking leap off the screen. And the audio, we got a Dolby Atmos track here, great ambience throughout. The different scenes where you hear the echoes inside when everything's really quiet, and it's Times you hear, all you hear is some of the dialogue or even just pure silence, and you hear the water dripping. So phenomenal job. I could not find any flaws with this whatsoever. And plus, this was a bucket list item. This is one that I had to have. I did not wait for a sale. I pre-ordered this damn thing. Freaking love the Abyss. I had to make this my number one. So now that the top 10 is done, we're going to talk about some, just a few, I've actually got 3 honorable mentions here. And a couple of these are on everyone's top 10 list, but I could not just get them there. First one up is Basket Case. Another Era release. Phenomenal job here. You know, it has Dolby Vision, very solid presentation. Does have a heavy grain the way it was filmed, but it's not, it's only at the beginning. It's kind of distracting, but not a lot. But once you get used to it, you don't mind it as much. But this thing is so rich. The details, textures, the colors really pop. And of course, the audio track, we've got a LPCM mono track here. It's very dated, but overall it's very clear. You know, it's clean. You know, the dialogue is clean, and the sound effects is all there. But it's nothing to write home about, but it's not bad. So that's why overall this, you know, didn't quite make the top 10, but it definitely is a good honorable mention because this is a great classic horror movie. If you liked Basket Case, I would recommend getting this. Next up is one of those on everyone's list, The Keep. Visually, this is top 10 easily. This would have been even top 5 because this, when you look at this, this should not look that damn good. This is just freaking stunning. And you know, this came from Vinegar Syndrome, and they do a phenomenal job. You know, the close-up, the details, you know, skin pores, hairs, rain textures, you know, textures of the uniforms, the colors really pop. And the only issues I had with visually, there was some scenes where inside there looked kind of out of focus, but I wouldn't blame the transfer. I think it just goes back to the source material. But then we get to the audio. This is where it keeps it from being top 10. It's got a DTS HD 2.0, very dated, and again, it goes back to the source material. They even give you a little warning statement at the beginning, talking about the restoration and the audio, and they just did not have good source material. I mean, the way it opened up, there's like thunder in the background, and the thunder actually filled the room, even in 2.0. It was like, this sounds really damn good. But my issue was with the dialogue. There's a lot of the dialogue was just not perfect at all. You know, bled off into the left and right. It should have been right in front of you. And just a really bad overall balance with the dialogue. That's what keeps The Keep. No, I didn't mean to pun not intended there, but yeah, that's what keeps it from being, you know, top 10, even top 5. Like I said, visual-wise, this is a top 5 title. This is freaking incredible. This should not look that good. Again, I highly recommend getting this if you're a fan of the movie. It's a really good movie. Some say it's disjointed, missing a lot. Yeah, it is. But it's not a bad movie. It's still a lot of fun. Hopefully they can find a way to get in some of that other material and doing a director's cut. And the last honorable mention we're going to talk about is another top 10 title here. Is Trick or Treat. This comes from Synapse and Red Shirt Pictures. You know, I did an unboxing of this, did a review of this. Again, visually, this is a top 10 title easily. Phenomenal presentation. The details, textures, great pops of color. But again, the audio is what keeps it from being top 10. The 5.1 track, very nice. It gives you a nice ambience. Gives you the surround, gives you a little bit. The shining point, the shining point of the audio track is the music. It freaking kicks ass, in your face, rocks your system. But the problem is with the dialogue, the balance is another one of those titles that's, the dialogue just bleeds off into the left and right to where it should not do it. So that's why I cannot put this in a top 10. It's just the audio issues. I mean, it wasn't bad. It just, those are the issues that I think could have been corrected. With today's technology, with the mixing, I'm sure they could have done a little bit with it. I'm not a sound engineer. Maybe they can't. Correct me if I'm wrong. Please, shed some light if you know a lot about that. But as just a overall fan of movies, that was my issue with it. But visually, this is freaking stunning. It's another one of those that probably shouldn't have looked that good, but it does. So there you have it, the best of 2024 in my eyes. Everything is subjective. We all have different opinions. And also, there's a lot of movies out there I would have loved to watch to actually review. It's a shame that Shout Factory does a great job. But there was, out of Shout Factory's releases last year, I only bought one as far as a new title. I wait for the sales, and I just sometimes it needs to be something special for me to want to spend that money to get a release. Arrow, because they're big box sets, I'm willing to spend that extra. Shout Factory, I'm just $33 for the new releases. I just can't see that. I mean, I know a lot of work goes into them, but for me, budget-minded, I just have to wait for those sales. I would have loved to get some of those Shout Factory titles. I mean, overall, you're looking at the top 10. We've got 3 studio releases, Disney and a couple Warner Brothers, and the rest of them are all boutique labels. We got Vinegar Syndrome, we've got some Arrow in there, Kino Lorber, Imprint, Second Sight. And of course, Arnold Schwarzenegger. We've got 3 of his movies in my top 10 for 2024. That's kind of interesting. So that's my top 10 and some honorable mentions. Please comment below. Let me know what you think. What are some of your favorite 4K releases from 2024? Again, it's all subjective, because a lot of times you get down into your favorites. It's just it's just cutting hairs. I mean, what is your favorites? You can have, quality-wise, you can put them up side by side, and it's going to be identical. So it's just going to boil down to how much you love the movies, how much you're going to watch them. So it's really tough to do these top 10 lists. I still want to do a top 10 overall 4K. That's even going to be tougher. I've got a list started. That is going to be so damn tough. So I hope you enjoyed that. Please check out my other videos on my channel. Like, subscribe, turn your bell notifications on, and we'll see you soon. Geek out.